Welcome to the June 2022 committee meetings of Dubbo Regional Council. I advise that Council is now web streaming its standing committees and council meetings live to the internet, and as such all those present should refrain from making any defamatory statements. Your attendance at this meeting is your acceptance of the condition that your image may be recorded and streamed to the internet, as well as being retained in the archive of the recorded council meetings and standing committee meetings. I now open the June 2022 Infrastructure Planning and Environment Committee meeting, the time being 5:35 p.m. First item IPEC 22/23, leave of absence. I have apologies. The first item of business is apologies. I've received an apology from Councillors Burns, Mahon and Wright. Can I please have someone move that the apologies of Councillors Burns, Wright and Mahon be accepted? Moved Councillor Dickerson, seconded Councillor Etheridge. Thank you. Any questions or debate? All those in favour? Against? I declare the motion carried. The second item is item IPEC 22/24, conflict of interest. Does anyone have any conflicts of interest to declare? There being none, we'll move on to the next item. Item IPEC 22/25, Building Summary, May 2022. Can I please have someone move the recommendation of the report of the Director, Development and Environment? Moved Councillor Ivey, seconded Councillor Wells. Any questions or debate, councillors? Councillor Chowdhury.
Thanks, Mr. Chair. I would like to ask a question. I can see people is work presently, but in here there was a comment last year, this year, there was a big drop of application. I just need to ask you why is that dropped?
Thank you. The CEO.
Mr. Quigley.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Councillor Cowdery, yes, the numbers are down a little bit, but you'll notice that the values are up. That's just an anomaly in the system. We're not tracking quite as well as last year number-wise, and there are a number of reasons for that. You're looking at things like shortage of labour, increases in the cost of building materials, and obviously now we have increased interest rates. So that may depress the sector to some extent, and look, that's state and nationwide at the moment. However, I would comment that Dubbo's development industry is still quite strong.
Thank you very much for that. Any other questions or debate, councillors? There being none, I'll put that. All those in favour? Against? I declare the motion carried. There are no further items for consideration of the Infrastructure Planning and Environment Committee, and I declare the meeting closed, the time being 5:36 p.m.
I now open the June 2022 Culture and Community Committee meeting. Time 5:37. Item CCC 22/21, leave of absence. The first item of business is apologies, and I have received an apology from Councillor Burns, Councillor Mahon and Councillor Wright. Can I please have someone move the apologies from Councillor Burns, Mahon and Wright to be accepted? Moved by Councillor Dickerson, second by Councillor Etheridge. Any questions or debate? Are all those in favour? Against? I declare the motion carried. Item CCC 22/22, conflicts of interest. Does anyone have conflicts of interest to declare? No? Moving on. Item CCC 22/23, council policy, maintenance of nature strips and laneways. Can I please have someone move the recommendation of the report of the Manager of Green Spaces Operation? Moved by Councillor Chowdhury, second by Councillor Ivey. Any questions or debate? Councillor Black.
No. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. Basically, I've read through the policy, it looks very good. All we're really doing is formalising the people made their own footpath and look after their back lane. So, as a council, we hope we have the resources to make people's footpaths and laneways for them, and this just formalises that, and it's a good move. Thank you.
Any other comments or debate? Councillor Ivey.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yes, I'd endorse Councillor Black's comments. The only thing I'd say is that some people may feel that, or be unaware that
Thank you, Councillor Ivey. Any other comments or debate? For all those in favour? Against? I declare the motion carried. Item CCC 22/24, Titan Macquarie Mud Run, the licence agreement for part of Regent Park. Moved by Councillor Dickerson, second by Councillor Wells.
An amendment?
An amendment, Councillor Black.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My amendment reads, point 1, that the Titan Macquarie Mud Run be issued with a licence agreement allowing them to continue to utilise the existing northern compound that is operational then, and then to relocate to the new southern site after the March 2023 mud run event and no later than 1 May 2023. Point 2, the community respondents be advised of Council's decision thanking them for their contribution.
Can I have someone move the amendment? Second the amendment. Councillor Chowdhury. Any questions or debate on the amendment? Councillor Dickerson.
Sorry, Councillor, talk to me first.
Councillor Black.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. I'd just like to say that I'd like to thank people who made submissions, and I think that we all approached this with an open mind. And my thinking was that there's a lot of gear down there at the site. I went down and had a look at the site this morning early. I understand that people might think it's a bit of an eyesore, but it would be a massive, massive job to move all of that for a small committee. This amendment would allow the gear to be stored there until the next mud run, so that it only has to be moved once, and then can be packed up, moved to a new site that would be more appropriate. The mud run have done a lot of great things for the community and donated a lot of money through charity to setting up equipment and bits and pieces in Regent Park and around the track of riding around there. They really have added to the amenity and usefulness of that area. Ideally, the equipment would be stored on the floodplain, and that's something that we can look at for next time. And it really shows the value of the Regent Park and the Trackarwiley area and the green space through the middle of town along the river. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Black. Any other discussion or debate? Councillor Dickerson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a question. The amendment from Councillor Black talked about the extension till March next year, but also talked about just using the operational land. And at the moment, the licensed area is part of the community land and part of the operational land. So just a question about the equipment they have at the moment. Is it entirely on operational land as it stands at the moment, or is some of it on the community land and some of it on operational land?
I'll pass that question on to the CEO.
Our understanding at the moment is it's completely on the operational parcel of land.
So that doesn't require any movement in the meantime. Okay, thank you.
Any other discussions or debate? Councillor Chowdhury.
I just put a comment because the mud run, Titan mud run is a volunteer-based program, and I think it would be give them the opportunity to do after the next year mud run. Because I think community also consider that because volunteer is not easier to done to give them time and effort. So I hope community learns. Thank you.
Any other discussion or debate? Now I put the amendment for all those in favour. All those and against. I declare it carried. The amendment is now become the motion. Any debate or comments? I now put the motion. All those in favour? And against? I declare that it carried. Item CCC 22/25, renaming of the Crown Reserve R520039 to Tony Kelly Reserve. Councillor Chowdhury, I believe you have an alternative motion.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have an alternative motion that this item to be referred on to the ordinary council meeting held 27 June 2022.
Seconded by Councillor Etheridge. Any questions or debate? All those in favour? All those against? I declare the motion carried. Item CCC 22/26, New South Wales Public Open Spaces Legacy Shared Pathway Update. Can I have someone move the recommendations of the report of the Manager Recreation and Open Space? Moved by Councillor Chowdhury, second by Councillor Wells. Any questions or debate? Councillor Black.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Very interesting report. It looks like it's going to be a fantastic legacy for Dubbo. What's planned down along the river through the heart of town. There's some, looks like some really good opportunities for people to utilise that space. We heard the other day how COVID has really brought public spaces to the fore, and the Macquarie River is one of the great public spaces in all of Western New South Wales. What Council has done and been doing is really well planned, and it looks like it'll be fantastic for the community. Thank you.
Any questions or debate? All those in favour? Against? I declare the motion carried. Item CCC 22/27, Macquarie Regional Library Quarterly Activity Report for January 2022 to March 2022. We have a presentation from the Manager of Macquarie Regional Library regarding this item.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Through you, I thank you for your time tonight. Macquarie Regional Library is a joint regional library system, and it's one of 12 regional library systems in New South Wales. There are nearly 49 local government areas across New South Wales that take part in a regional public library system, and that's almost 40% of local government areas across New South Wales. Now, public libraries operate in accordance with the Library Act 1939 and the Library Regulations 2018. And they mandate a range of requirements which include free membership, free lending of items, and also free delivery of books to the aged and infirmed at home. So there are a range of requirements under various legislation. Benefits of the regional library system include providing good commercial pricing purchasing arrangements through consortia, and for example, our library management system, we can share the resources and the costs of the hardware and the software of the library management system, and it provides access to information but also shares the cost and doesn't duplicate our resources across the regional area. You'll see here the member councils. Now, our member councils provide most of the income for our library services, and we do thank the councils for that. It's 90% of funding comes from local government. State government does provide 10% of funding via grants and subsidies, and they occur annually. So we're able to service the region. Our libraries and service points are open 251 hours per week, so that's a lot of hours across 7 libraries and 3 service points. In terms of the Macquarie Regional Library budget, this year and previous years, we've had a 3% increase in contributions from the member councils, and that's just based on a 3% increase in annual contributions on the previous year. However, for 22-23, that is not sustainable, so we have had to raise the contribution rate to 4.5% to maintain current levels of services. Now, you'll see here, the next slide shows benchmarking. New South Wales Public Libraries do a lot of benchmarking, and I've just included a range of some of the benchmarks here for your interest. You'll note that in terms of item number 2, library members as a percentage of population, 51% of the Macquarie Regional Library population are members of the library, and that means they've borrowed from one of our libraries in the last 3 years, so they're considered active members. And the next challenge for libraries is to ensure that we get active members back to our libraries more frequently. So that's our next challenge. But additionally too, we do have people coming to our libraries who are not members. So the figure of people utilising the library would be quite high. And just for the past week, Dubbo Libraries had 1,500 people in through the week. So that's a good result post-COVID. Here you'll see is a diagram. We have our customers in the centre of what we do, and our other primary stakeholders, of course, are the local councils. So that they're very important to supporting and helping us do what we do, and we do rely on that support. We have our branches that provide the customer-face services to the community, and our regional office is like the back of house that provides the professional services such as acquisitions, cataloguing, ordering, processing, and the distribution of our materials and program events materials to our region. You'll see here also we have this slide and the next two slides are taken from our Macquarie Regional Library Strategic Plan, and we have three themes, and it's empower, innovate and engage. And in terms of empower, we support lifelong learning for all ages. We provide targeted programs, events and activities for all ages, and we support literacies which include digital literacy and reading literacies. And also, we provide for self-directed learning opportunities, and also for people who want to study quietly, business people who take their laptop into the library. So people want to use the library for a lot of different things. So it can be challenging providing for all of those different things under one small roof, but it works. We do work with it. In terms of innovate, we provide a range of library innovative tools that we can utilise for our communities. We also incorporate cost-effective technology where we can. Technology is expensive, but we try and be very cost-effective with that. We utilise a range of technologies in our programs. For example, we incorporate use of apps in some of the children's activities, and they can download an app and have a green screen and then do a photo booth via, inclusive apps that enable them to enjoy and make things more interactive in terms of what they're doing. We have discovery kits that can be taken home for families. They have a kit full of technology and experiments that young people can use at home. So we now offer a lot of take-home activities for children and families. In addition, we have robotics and computer programming and coding for children. We offer brain training for seniors to keep that grey matter going, and we also have for quite a number of years had now virtual reality, and so the headsets where people can do armchair travel via our virtual reality headsets. In terms of engagement, we provide social and recreational spaces. We provide a safe space and a meeting space for people of all needs. We form partnerships with other organisations so that we can offer programs and services at the library and outside the library at other locations. And we do have, again, I'll say we do have challenges in times when we run events and programs simultaneously in the library. We've got kids in one area wanting to have fun and really enjoying themselves, and then we have people trying to study or, sit quietly and work. So it can be a challenge providing for all needs at any one time in the library. So just to recap, Macquarie Regional Library is one of 12 regional library services in New South Wales. 51% of our population are members of the library, and we're open 251 hours a week. So thank you for your time.
Thank you. Can I have someone move the recommendation of the report of the Manager of Macquarie Regional Library? Councillor Ivey, second by Councillor Chowdhury. Any questions or debate?
Madam Chair, I'd like to thank you very much for that talk. It was very interesting. One of the comments that I'd like to make is that it seems to be a great idea that there's a cooperation between different councils. That obviously does introduce few economies of scale and some savings in costs. Just a question, that when that situation occurs, sometimes there are friction between problems like that, or is it basically a very harmonious relationship?
In the last 2 years, we've done a number of internal studies, time and motion studies. So we've been able to identify areas of cross-subsidisation, and in the budget for 22-23, it is transparent and it's equitable, and so we work towards ensuring that those relationships remain positive and that everyone is of the same understanding and there's equity in what we do across the region. So, yes.
Thank you, Councillor Ivey. Any other discussions or debate? Councillor Black.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd just like to say thank you very much for that very comprehensive presentation. So many people use libraries everywhere, and you see that down at the Pro Regional Library, and also when we went to the Wellington Library recently, the community engagement, all sorts of people in all walks of life. It's a very important hub for people, especially older people. I've noticed that tend to go every day. One of the big problems is funding, and there's a massive opportunity for the state government to provide more funding directly to councils-led libraries, and that would be much appreciated. And it's something that we probably need to call for more often. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Black. Any other discussions? For all those in favour? All those against? I declare the motion carried. Item CCC 22/28, Public Art Strategy Development, Proposed Consultation Process. Can I have someone move a recommendation of the report of the Cultural Development Coordinator, moved by Councillor Dickerson, second by Councillor Etheridge. Any questions or debate? All those in favour? Oh, Councillor Black.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As a patron of the arts, I can really appreciate the value of really well done public art and what that can contribute to a community. Things like sculpture you might see, other art shows, sculpture on the farm, things you see around. So I hope the community really engages in the process and lets us know exactly where they would like some direction on what they would like to see, how they'd like it done, so we can provide for the community. You can't please all the people all of the time, but any pointers we can get. So I'd encourage everyone that would like to participate and provide feedback when the consultation period starts. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or debate? Councillor Ivey.
Following on comment from that, within the community there are really committed groups of art people involved in the arts, and it's be great to see them really engaged in the strategic development of the strategic plan. And I'm sure the consultants who are engaged to undertake that strategic plan will be aware of that. But just to reinforce the need to harness the enthusiasm and the commitment that's out there in the community amongst these various groups within the art groups within the community.
Any other discussions or debate? All those in favour? All those against? I declare the motion carried. Confidential items. Under Section 10A of the Local Government Act, the next item being item CC 22/29, Dubbo Public Library Community Needs Assessment and Feasibility Study, have been identified as likely to be discussed in a closed section of Council to Section 10A(2)(c) of the Act. Can I have someone move us into confidential session to deal with this confidential item? Moved by Councillor Chowdhury, second by Councillor Wells. We have no other applications from members of the public to make their representation regarding whether the meeting should be closed to the public. Do any members of the public in the public gallery have any comments to make regarding the proposal to hear item CCC 22/29 in a closed session of Council? Any questions or debate? All those in favour? All those against? I declare the motion carried and we will move into a closed session, the time being 5:58 p.m. Uh, 6:03. The committee returned to open session at 6:03 p.m. Welcome back. I now ask the Manager Governance and Internal Control to read the resolution of the closed session.
Item CCC 22/29, Dubbo Public Library Community Needs Assessment and Feasibility Study. 1. For the basis of future options, option B still be considered viable, noting a multi-storey option will provide the required floor space. 2, that the Chief Executive Officer undertake a strategic options analysis for future uses of the former Dubbo City Bowling Club at 72 Wingewarra Street, Dubbo A, that the options analysis include community engagement to identify and explore opportunities, issues and financial sustainability matters for Council to consider. 3, that a business case be developed that explores the opportunities for a public-private partnership with New South Wales Australian Government funding to redevelop the existing library at 29 Macquarie Street site. Option A for a library service and any additional uses.
There are no further items for consideration of the Culture and Community Committee. I declare the meeting closed at the time being 6:04 p.m.
The Corporate Services Committee, I declare opened at 6:05 p.m. I've got CSC 22/23, leave of absence. I have a leave of absence request from Councillors Burns, Mann and Wright. Could I have someone move that, please? Thank you, Councillor Showery, seconded by Councillor Black. All those in favour? Against? Declare that carried. Conflict of interest. Anyone have any conflicts of interest to declare for this particular meeting? No? I'll move on. CSC 22/25, Economic Development Update. Can I have someone move the recommendation of the report, please? Thank you, Councillor Goff, seconded by Councillor Showery. Before we go to any discussion or debate, we have a presentation from the Manager, Economic Development and Marketing regarding this item. Ms Howard, would you like to come forward, please?
Thank you, Mr Chair, and good evening. So just giving an update on the Dubbo region in regards to our workforce and employment data and some of the work that we've done in the skills attraction space, deep diving into, I guess, a little bit around what the opportunities are, as well as some of the programs that we're already implementing. So in terms of some of the groups that we're involved in to make sure that we are across what is happening in this space, we're part of the New South Wales Government Job Skills and Industry Participation Panel, the Renewable Energy Zone Working Group, Jobs and Skills Task Force for the whole region, Jobs and Skills Task Force for Healthcare, Jobs and Skills Task Force for Infrastructure, Autonomous Vehicle Trial Working Group and D-Hub Advisory Group. So Dubbo has maintained a low unemployment rate for successive years, with full employment actually considered to be around 5%. So while in 2020 we condensed the labour force as a whole, that impacted our overall unemployment rate, as you can see, dropping at under 2%. Business numbers as a whole also decreased in 2020, but in 2021 we start to see the numbers rising again. And in terms of our labour force, with more people being able to work, there was also an increase in businesses, with that number bouncing back higher than what our pre-COVID numbers were. And also, interestingly, our LGA unemployment is rising more. Our LGA unemployment is rising to more than double the 2020 number, where our workforce was actually condensed. On that, from our research, what we're considering that to be is a rise in our youth unemployment. And in the Orana and Far West region, the data shows close to a 12% youth unemployment rate. And typically the Dubbo region tracks between 2 and 3% under that. So that puts us at about 9% unemployment for our youth. And considering back in 2020, that was actually a 2% unemployment rate. So that jump within the year could be anything from school leavers impact, so not heading to university the way that they thought they would, not taking their gap years away like they thought they would, staying at home and rather than travelling, and taking more time to decide what type of job they're going to do. Because also the last 2 years have meant that the in-school work we've been able to do, or that schools have been able to do to help people sort of make their career choice, take their pathway, has also been limited. So it's giving them less opportunity to explore options for pathways. In regards to jobs that are filled by people who are not in the Dubbo region, so jobs where we fly them in and they do their work and they fly home, from there you can see, interestingly, that our the key demographic for that is between 25 and 44, and the highest rate of industry that we have bringing into the region for services that we don't fill within the Dubbo region itself is around healthcare and social assistance and public administration and safety. In terms of jobs that we push out, so services we provide outside of the region, and then those people come back and live in the region as part of their home, Again, interestingly, we can see that the demographic there is very high within that 25 to 34 age bracket, and then dropping down again around that 35 to 54 age bracket. Interestingly, a lot of these workers are actually working within the region. A few are flying into Sydney, but a lot of that is actually regional workforce pushing out, and a significant part of that is the mining sector, and interestingly the agricultural, forestry and farming sector as well, which has got great opportunity for us in terms of some of the major projects that we have happening in the region over the next couple of years, particularly around the critical minerals hub and the renewable energy zone. So Council is an active participant and an influencer and a conduit with private industry and government to basically inform what's going on the ground. So as part of this, recently we've sent out a general email to our database and received some responses from businesses around some simple questions about if you could employ someone tomorrow, what jobs are you trying to fill right now on the ground? And on the screen on the table is the results from that call out. In addition to this table, we also know from our contacts that within the wider region of Dubbo, the services are exacerbated. So that big grey section that you see there, that is healthcare. Our big sort of middle blue section is construction. So they're telling us that there is a significant need for a full range of medical and allied health professionals, qualified and apprentice trades and front service workers basically throughout the whole region. So through the current operational delivery from Council, we support the marketing of jobs and skills, lifestyle and regional vibrancy, and the welcoming of new residents for connection to the region, along with strategic alignment to business growth and business investment, investment attraction, to support the strengthening of our local supply chains and those projects that we can help to leverage as part of those supply chain growth. So the Dubbo Region Skills Platform has been a significant piece of work in the skills attraction space that we've been developing over the past couple of years. So in 2020, whilst people were forced into their tiny apartments in the metros and people lost their jobs, the regional centres post that first initial 6-week lockdown, seemingly to the outside eye, went back to their normal life pretty quickly. So stimulation of business happened in that space, with over 1,000 new ABNs registered in the 2020 year for Dubbo, a lot of those in construction. And construction packages from the government pieces of work have supported builders and tradespeople who were deemed essential workers, so they kept those calendars rolling on, and those calendars became full quickly. So we even know now that builders are still being booked out 12 months in advance. So there is a real need for skilled workers in our region. As I mentioned earlier, it's growing and demand is still building. So as part of our regional skills program, we delivered ads that were simple, put the focus on the job first, and lifestyle was second. We targeted across large areas of trade-based positions and healthcare workers, which was supported by industry in terms of how they told us that they would be hiring those types of positions and were looking for those people on the doorstep tomorrow. So from the early data, we could see that much like we thought, people were mostly interested in a job and a career, and that the rest of the life administration came much further down the line. So whether that's because people were so intently focused on the job itself, or whether a decade's worth of marketing for Dubbo, starting with the original council-delivered Dubbo City Image program, and then later the Evo Cities program, created a platform of recognition where people know more about regional living, regional city living, and service access in our area. So we've spent almost a decade doing lots of different levels of new resident attraction through great programs like Evo Cities and Love the Life You Live, which sold lifestyle first with jobs as a secondary message. So through local business and industry, government agency engagement, we were able to see how much work was in the pipelines across the regions around us and the types of workers that were needed to fulfil these projects. And so we can see from our data the focus on flipping from talking about the benefits of a lifestyle in our regions to talking about jobs as the first tool for conversion and lifestyle as the secondary, that we were saying a message that our audiences wanted to hear. So as a council, we have provided insights to other levels of government and other councils on the Dubbo Skills platform as well. And it's my understanding that since the completion of our research and our strategy work, that the implementation of a Dubbo Skills Like platform is happening in Albury, in the Illawarra, in northwestern New South Wales, and they're all now undertaking a very similar attraction program to what we do. So in doing this, we have been more adventurous in the way that we have been delivering on the Regional Skills Attraction Program. So we flipped it on its head to what we've done in the past. We focused on target groups based on the skills gap research, and we moved to a significant strategy that has got a smaller, with WRI, and we basically update that with smaller primary research strategies, where we reach out to local business and industry, both in Dubbo and across our region, to ask them, are we doing the right thing? Are these the type of people that you are looking for? And are you seeing results from the marketing that we're doing? So this focus has included a regional approach in terms of the geography around Dubbo, and working with our neighbouring LGAs, rather than what we've done in the past, which was similar sized LGAs as one product. And the changes that we're looking to make now should enable us to track those conversions a bit better, so that we can see how this program is making impacts on the ground. So in terms of our partnered lifestyle and our marketing support, so this has matured over a decade worth of implementation, basically, with the purpose to engage people within the community when they arrive and get them to make connections with one another, connections with our community, and engage with us as a resident would. So the collaborative marketing of our partners to new residents and potential new residents has come through the New Resident Program, so the New Resident Guide. And that includes things like proactive PR for lifestyle, to moving to the Dubbo region, and that includes Dubbo, Wellington, and all the villages and all the varying lifestyle opportunities that there are within our region. So the new resident nights are designed to welcome people to the community and make them stay. So the latest event that was held in April, was the largest on record, with close to 100 participants and 30 social services and community businesses. Survey results from that are really positive, with over 95% of the participants overly satisfied with their engagement and with the event itself. The new guide partnership is currently in development. In engaging with our local business sector in terms of supporting all aspects of retention and expansion in our workforce, it's done through economic development programs that you can see on your screen right now. So through these programs, we have supported over 25% of our employing businesses in the region, and they're structured programs that some have got financial partnerships with council, where businesses actually pay to be a part of the services we deliver, and some of which are general support programs that, whilst don't have a financial contribution, are delivered in partnership. In addition to these programs, council also has a targeted CBD investment strategy, which is designed with tangible actions that deliver over the next 2 years in both the Dubbo and the Wellington CBDs. So with a large-scale investment lens, the CEO engaged Andreas Dressler, a very reputable investment advisor and consultant to major attraction agencies, included international, national and state investment attraction bodies, to speak to Dubbo Regional Council. So having Andreas speak to us as a council was hugely advantageous, and he was able to assure some of the work that we do in this space, as well as show us some inroads that we can leverage and platforms that we can build upon to identify our market specifically for proactive large-scale attraction and target those to the Dubbo region based on our individual product promise. In terms of our opportunities, regarding the further development of the Dubbo Skills platform, due to privacy laws, there was some difficulty in making some connections between the registered users that would register on one end of the online platform through to those businesses that were looking for workers. And we are not a recruitment agency, and we can't hold personal information or provide recommendations. But what we can do is we can facilitate. So at the moment, it's a pretty manual process, and we export a list of applicants and send the full list basically through to the registered businesses that have registered with us as part of that online platform. And with a full list of visa-related inquiries, of which we get quite a few, we send those through to RDA as the Irana Dharma. And from there, we have limited capacity to know what happens. So we're continuing to work with the developer to automate that connection between businesses and those people that are registering for jobs. And hopefully through doing that, we can create a more streamlined approach, and then we can also track their progress a bit better through that decision-making process. And we're also in discussions about the financial implications or the opportunities that are relating to that platform, and developing these partnership programs through the operational delivery of the new resident program to support this. Staff have already started discussions with different levels of government and agencies working together for supply chain business attraction. So this can include grant allocations from the state government for new resident attraction incentives based on business relocations and skills. And these are aligned to large-scale projects in infrastructure that are needing to be delivered, precinct developments, critical projects to be delivered such as the renewable energy zone, and large-scale industry enablers such as the critical minerals hub. So large-scale infrastructure projects are, in this initial instance, they are supportive of exploring a combined approach to business and skills attraction into the region, because they have got targets for local business engagement as well, so it's within their interest to build our workforce to help build that development. It brings a real opportunity to leverage business attraction from the metro centres, and it brings people in and helps grow our overall economy and overall workforce and business through using these large-scale projects. There's also still regional appetite, particularly from a staff level, from the surrounding councils to collaborate in attraction, both within councils of a similar population size as well as those that are smaller but are in the same geographical area as we are and that use the Dubbo region as their service centre. And there's also currently some work being scoped around the Dubbo region brand and its delivery across tourism, livability, investment and business markets to ensure the best conversion of messaging across all these important delivery areas. So whilst we have a strong relationship across the delivery of this work, there is interest coming together from private industry, from businesses and from all different areas of government to deliver on shared outcomes for growth of our region.
Ms Howard, does anyone have any questions for Ms Howard before we discuss the recommendation? Councillor Ivey.
The idea of targeting skills and trying to attract them to our area sounds like a fantastic idea. Have you got any broader measures of how successful that's been? I mean, how many people applied in response to some of this targeted approach 6 months ago compared to this 6 months? Or have we got those broad figures?
We do when we're in market. So certainly our last in-market campaign for the Dubbo Skills platform was around January, February, and we saw an uplift from memory, it was around 300 people that will hit that website when we're not in market to about 1,200 when we are in market. So we certainly see that it's something that people are really engaged in terms of searching for and wanting to make a change, which is, I think, back to that platform of marketing for such a long time that it's not such a scary thing to move. But in terms of conversion, it's very difficult for us to actually see how many have landed on the ground without doing this extra piece of work.
But even if it's only a 1% or a 5% conversion, it's still a significant number of people.
Absolutely, yeah.
Councillor Ivey. Councillor Shellery.
Thank you. It was a really nice report, and even though I did a lot of phone calls from the people within different cities, and they honestly didn't know much about it. So how we can reach to them? There really some people in there who really want to move in our region, but often they have not enough information on their hands. So how we can target them and reach this information?
Yep. So I guess what we do at the moment is we do a targeted marketing spend with our relocation activity. And the way we've changed that now is that we're talking now more about the particular people that have skills that we're after. So we've done a level of research based on ABS workforce data that tells us where we've got high populations of those types of either trades or medical occupations or, baristas or whatever it is that we're working with to try and attract. And that's where we really pinpoint our marketing to make sure we're getting our best bang for buck. But certainly I do think in terms of the work that we're doing around the brand hierarchy and making sure that cuts across some of those audiences, we'll hopefully have some more cut through in some of those instances as well. But yeah, certainly it's something that we try and target to get best value for money.
Councillor Shattery, yes.
And we have like a lot of community groups, Facebook groups. So if those information which you ask to councillors, councillors and council Facebook, then we can share within our community groups and share to the big cities where more people come and look for information.
Absolutely, and I think that's great, and particularly our multicultural community is really important, and it's a really vibrant and growing part of our community where we grow our multicultural community 19% faster than other regional areas in New South Wales. So absolutely, I think that would be a great thing to work in partnership with. And certainly those sorts of groups too, community groups, social groups, can advertise and become part of our new resident attraction program free of charge.
Councillor Shattery's taking claim for that 19%, I think. Any further questions of Ms Howard? Councillor Ivey.
One other comment too, that the Labor government have committed to having 24-hour nursing care, supported aged care homes. That is going to increase the demand for skilled nursing through the roof.
Yep.
So, it's going to be a common problem everywhere, but I think if we can just perhaps try to get one step ahead and look at that whole issue of trying to attract skilled, trained nurses, one would be very, very much needed, but it would be a great service we can provide.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, Councillor Ivey. Councillor Goff.
I just have a comment. I just want to congratulate the economic and development sector because I personally know as a business owner how supportive you are throughout promotions and marketing and just general support. If you have a question, it's easy to ask. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Goff. Any further questions of Ms Howard, councillors? I have one for you, Ms Howard. The new resident guide, do you have the timeline for when that will be, advertising will be finished and when that will actually be available, the 2022-23 guide?
Yep, so we're looking, the prospectus document is currently in its final drafts, so hopefully I'll be able to have that out probably by September, by spring, would be the goal.
That'll be the new resident guide out by spring?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, thank you, that's good. Nothing further, councillor. So so that's from further questions for Ms Howard. Any discussion? Thank you, Ms Howard. Any further discussion or debate in relation to the motion? Councillor Black.
Thank you. I'd just like to also say thanks for the work giving us that report and also to the staff for all their excellent work. The Dubbo region, what a great place to live. Should be on everyone's radar to move out here. One of the things that we really do need to do as a council, and we can work in this space, is to lobby the state and federal governments for further training or further funding for TAFE so that we can train people within our own region and give kids and mature age retrainees a chance to do courses locally. In TAFE it makes it a lot easier to get trained, and also CSU get more courses there. There's been lots of courses, so that's something that as a council we can look at, and would also feed into this whole economic development space where we create or help kids to obtain better paying, better quality, higher trained jobs within the local region. And we know the more training you get, the better your life's going to be, basically. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Black. Any further councillors? There being none, I put that. All those in favour? Against? Declare that carried. Next item, councillors, is CSC 22/26. Subdivision planning approvals process. Could someone move the recommendation, please? Thank you, Councillor Shattery. Seconded by Councillor Etheridge. Discussion or debate, councillors? Being none, I put that. All those in favour? Against? Declare that carried. Next item is CSC 22/27, investment under Section 625 of the Local Government Act. Could someone move that recommendation? Thank you, Councillor Shattery. Seconded by Councillor Goff. Discussion or questions, councillors? Councillor Shattery.
Thank you, Mr Chair. I would like to ask a question. Interest rate is not changing in the current market, so how we can monitor those changes so make sure council get this return?
Certainly, thank you, Councillor Shattery. I'll send that through to the CEO.
Thank you, Mr Chair. We have a very proactive approach, and certainly we work well with our consultancy that provides that advice. You'll see in the report that we do get higher returns than certain industry benchmarks, so we are proactive in seeking the best deal. and often a time to reconsider interest rates is when some of those investments mature. And indeed, sometimes in our operational accounts, if we get over a certain value in money, they don't generate interest, so we have to invest to get it below a threshold. And again, that's the time to take advantage of increasing interest rates. So it is very much a focus of our finance team.
Thank you, CEO. Anything further, Councillor Chowdhury? Any further questions or debate, councillors? No, there being none, I put that. All those in favour? Against? Declare that carried. Next item is CSC 22/28, Wellington Aerodrome and Recreation Park hangar lease fees. Have someone move that? Thank you, Councillor Ivey. Seconded by Councillor Goff. Discussion or debate, councillors? Councillor Ivey.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to speak in support of the motion. I think it's good having a firm basis on which to set the rental charges or the lease figures. Obviously, everyone would like the lease figures to be as low as possible, but it does seem that figure that's stipulated seems to be a fairly fair and well-balanced and well-thought-out figure. My main reason for supporting the motion, though, is that it offers the holders of those hangars some security of tenure. So we've got a 5+5 lease, and I think that will be welcomed by the holders, and again, it's a good basis moving forward. So I support the motion.
Thank you, Councillor Ivey. Other questions, councillors? Councillor Black.
Thank you. It seems like an absolute bargain, given that it's, the lease fees are only 25% of the Dubbo airport fees, and as we've been looking at and discussing over a little while, all this helps to, well, basically for Wellington Aerodrome to pay its own way and at least break even. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Black. Further questions, councillors? I do have one, and Councillor Ivey, I might direct the question to you. You may actually know the answer. Previously, before the amalgamation, what length of tenure did the aerodrome or the hangar leases have for any hangars that were there? Do they have any certainty going forward?
As I understood it, there were 5 years.
Right.
Yes, 5+5.
So the same as proposed now?
It's the same as proposed now. There was after the amalgamation, for various reasons, there was a hiatus there, and so the longer-term tenure seats were put on hold, and this really formalises it back to what it was.
Yeah, okay, that's good. Thank you, Councillor Ivey. So no further discussion or debate, councillors? Being none, I put that. All those in favour? Against? Declare that carried. There's no further items for consideration of the Corporate Services Committee. I declare the meeting closed at 6:32 p.m. Web streaming has now been completed. Thank you for your attendance to the gallery. Thank you for your attendance to councillors.